Hi everyone, so in today's video we're going to talk a bit about being a registered breeder. There's been a lot of kind of topics coming up with regards to this recently on some Facebook sites. So I just thought I'd try and cover some of the kind of key points. So I think what we should start with is what exactly is the NFRS. I will link down below to the website so you can read further into it, but it does stand for the National Fancy Rat Society. So this is a UK-wide rat club that you can join whether you're a breeder or not. You don't have to be a breeder to join this club. And basically, in order to become a registered breeder on this website, you must simply be a member for 1 year and you pay a one-off fee. I think it's £10, I can't actually physically remember. So you pay a one-off fee, you're a member for 12 months, and that's it. So literally anyone could register a Rattery. The Rattery name needs to be approved by the committee. That's your only maybe kind of stopping point, so to speak. But that's it. That is all you need to do to become a registered Rattery. So there's good points and bad points to this, because a lot of the time when people ask on, Facebook pages, forums, wherever, and they say, where do I find a breeder? Most people will just say, have you checked the breeders list? And they will link the NFRS list. So I just want to, I've got my phone here for a second, I just want to read out exactly what's written on their website. And I'll say this will all be linked down below, you can follow the links and read it for yourself. But basically, as this is basically what they say about their breeders list. So they're not responsible for anything on it, basically. So please note that the NFRS does not endorse or approve any rat breeders. Registration simply indicates that a breeder is a member of the NFRS and has paid the appropriate fee. So it's black and white, like it literally tells you what they have done to become registered. It's different if you're a stud on this. If if you're a stud name, you have to have earned a stud name through showing, but that's a completely separate topic, so I'm not going to touch on studs. This is just to become a registered Rattery I'm going to talk about today. The other part that they say here is that the NFRS committee cannot accept responsibility for the breeders and buyers who use this list, as in many cases they do not know the individuals concerned. Please ensure that you ask your breeder plenty of questions if you have any specific requirements in any area. What should also be noted is that you can choose whether to be on the list or not. So I do know some people who are genuine good rat breeders, but they choose not to be on the public list just because they don't want to be. Again, I feel like that's me getting slightly off topic. So I will link that down below so you can have a look at that. So we've touched on what the NFRS is and what it takes to be registered on their list. So basically, as you can see, it's pretty simple. You literally pay your membership fee for 1 year and then you pay a one-off fee, and you can, just for saying, you could literally pick a name, call yourself Rats Rattery. You could literally just go and put that on and it would show up on the breeders list with your Rattery name, your name, what you breed, and your general location, because it breaks it down into different parts of the country, and then it gives your rough location so people can actually find you. So being on this list doesn't mean that you are 100% maybe ethical in your breeding. It doesn't mean that you're maybe a step better than, say, the breeders who kind of mass produce to supply pet shops, etc. Although, to be fair, most of them wouldn't bother their time to be a member for years to register and something like that. But basically what I'm trying to point out to you is there is good breeders on this list as well as bad breeders, because it's not a vetted list. It's up to you to do your own vetting yourself. So what can you do to check the breeder out that you've found? Use the list, because I think the list is really good, especially, as I said, it breaks it down into different areas of the country. So use the list. First of all, find who you're interested in. Just say there's, you found one you're interested in. how do you personally check that they are ethical and that they meet the same standards as what you would want in a breeder? Answering questions. That is such a simple one to me. I have no problem with anyone sending me questions about my rats. So questions I would like to be asked would be, where are my foundations from? Now, I'm going to link that video down below. I touched on a topic of what foundation rats are. So if you asked a genuine breeder where their foundations came from, they would be able to tell you who they came from, obviously name another breeder, etc. Be very open about it. If they're kind of dodging the question, not really answering exactly where they're coming from, then personally it sounds like they're probably, you know, just from a pet shop, a rescue situation. They've literally just picked ones that they still thought were nice to breed, you know. If you're able to say another breeder and point out, you know, where your good foundations are coming from, you're actually taking from already established lines that has a pedigree history of health and temperament, and then you build on that and make your own. So yeah, definitely that's one question you want to ask, you know, where are your foundations from? Another question that should be asked, ask to see their setup. If anyone follows like my personal Rattery page for Facebook or even like any of my social media, I post a lot of my cage pictures up anyway and my shed that they're kept in, so to be honest, in terms of me, that's pretty public. Anyone can go and see that. But again, you can ask to see where the rats are kept and how the rats are kept. You also just want to, you know, another thing you should ask is, what health problems, what health issues have you seen in your lines? Anybody that comes out and says the words none is a liar. It is physically impossible to have no health issues whatsoever in your line. It's not possible. That's like saying we as humans never get ill. You know, it doesn't happen. We're just not ill. It's physically impossible. So if anybody says that to you, straight out lying. Again, a breeder who is genuine would be able to tell you what issues they have had and what they've done to try and rectify it. You know, things like that. They would be completely honest. So this really isn't an extensive list of what you can ask, but I would definitely say that that is the basics when you are trying to find a breeder that matches what you want in terms of ethics with what they have. So ask where those foundations are from. Ask what health issues they've had in the line. Ask how they're keeping their rats. You can even ask how they're feeding their rats. I mean, there's so many questions you can ask. And a genuine breeder would answer these questions for you and be completely transparent. Anybody that is dodging the kind of question, that's a bit suspicious. Anybody who is saying there's no health issues, that's a big red flag. Anybody who is churning out lots and lots of babies, that is a red flag as well, because the genuine breeders are out there that are actually doing it to better the rat fancy as a whole. They don't have constant litters of babies popping out. Like that is not going to improve the fancy if you're just constantly breeding rats back to back to back and having, you know, 5 or 6 litters every single time, and there's rats always available. Like, these are all kind of red flags. Like, most breeders will have some sort of a wait. Think of it like you're trying to get a puppy. You know, if you've got a puppy breeder, how long can you wait to get a puppy? It can be months, it could be years. You know, and anybody that's got rats readily available in many different varieties, again, that is like such a red flag. There's nothing wrong with breeders having a few different varieties that they're aiming for, because some will obviously be in the same sort of line, so they're not actually technically like 2 different lines, so to speak. They're complementary varieties that come in the same line. So having some different varieties is not a red flag, but having a wide variety of non-complementary ones, you know, ones that don't actually share the same line, that is a bit of a red flag. So yeah, I really just wanted to put this out here just to try and make you think a little bit. You know, ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions to a breeder. You need to find one that's right for you. I will leave everything linked down below that I've kind of talked about, so check out the NFRS. Do use the breeders list, it is good, but please just use your discretion. You can ask the breeder direct questions. There's also a few review sites or review pages on Facebook for some of the Ratteries, so you can actually just search the Rattery name and see what comes up. But yeah, I just want to hopefully try and clear that up for some of you. I hope I've not rambled too much, but thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.